RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Monday night edition. Excited to be back. Looking forward to connecting. Hope everyone's doing well. Lots of stories worth touching on. Curious to find out what's on your radar, what you guys been keeping an eye on. Let me know via the chat, what your thoughts are. We got a lot of stuff to touch on tonight. And for those that are tuning in, let me know if our audio sounds good. I want to make sure I can be heard and not be rambling to myself. But yeah, for any new visitors, any first time viewers or whatnot, any new members to the community, let me know where you're watching from via the chat room. Give you a place or location as well as your name. I'd love to give you a shout out. And then when the phone lines open up, 313-462-0027 is the number that you can call and let your voice be heard. So got a newer microphone, so hopefully this helps me some. But yeah, man, wow, what a heck of a weekend. And 2 days away from a new month, of which I'm anticipating this upcoming September to be something serious on many fronts. More so, economically speaking, as the government assistance or the government accommodative policies come to an end. Rather, I think it's going to lead to even more of a slowdown of the economy. Retail sales, all the major indicators will definitely be flashing red if they're not already. So we're going to touch on that. But for those that are tuning in, if you have any stories, anything you guys want to make sure we cover tonight, I want to invite you to send them to rtdnews@protonmail.com. It'll make it easier for me to throw them up on the screen or whatnot, so that I'll just help a little bit, and then we'll keep it moving. But let me acknowledge a couple people for taking time to bless us with their presence. Hit the thumbs up button if you don't mind. Show your support for the channel. And if you're brave enough, go and hit that share button. Invite a friend or two. Hopefully more people can plug in and get an alternative perspective to what's really not being discussed from the mainstream narrative. But we got Communist Hunter. Says, prayers for my mother. She swallowed the government propaganda with hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, man. If you're still tuning in, sorry to hear that. I think a lot of family members a lot of our family members have participated 100%. And, definitely all only thing can help them now is guys. So hopefully the Lord steps through and helps and protects and covers his own. But definitely we'll include that in the prayer that we end tonight. We got Tim checking in. We got DC Precise checking in. We got, let me see here, from South Louisiana. Tim, what's the word on the streets there, man? Give us the full shebang on what's happening in your neck of the woods. Definitely want to touch on our hurricane situation. We got Dominic checking in, S400, Lightning for the checking in. Everyone, this is Monday. We got JoJo. We got Ingles, Trabajares, McGrantes says, is the Afghanistan disaster cash weapons gift to the Taliban already set up for another attack on U.S. soil? An attack on New York or Wall Street would cover up a lot of financial issues. Ingles, you're in the same ballpark as I'm in as well, because I was going to try to title this, did the U.S., because once again, the U.S., when I say the U.S., I mean those that are running the big pharma, military industrial complex, all those people that actually, run our government for the most part, not the politicians, were they told to deliberately back out and surrender so that at some point the extremists can bring the fight to this part over here? And that's why I've always said in the past couple of years, we've never had an outright military confrontation on American soil in hundreds of years since the Civil War, to my knowledge. And so I think the ultimate global destabilizer would be the U.S. getting caught up in some type of conflict militarily or something like that on U.S. soil. That'll be the ultimate distraction of all distractions. So I can definitely see something happening, because as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, with all the migrants flooding in, we don't know who they are, what they're about. And it's good to say they've been infiltrated with a lot of bad actors, as well as a lot of paid actors from some of our triple digit agencies that we have here. This is probably a part of that group as well. So definitely, you're right around the same ballpark as me, my friend. Solo checking in. We got Jane. We got Jay. We got JD watching from Florida. We got Lightning for the D. I said, let me see. You got Sam Smart, Toshiba Mike checking in. Okay, Possible. What's up, my friend? Let me see. Keep it on moving a little bit. King D. We got Broadlight Broker Will Smith checking in. We got Ed. We got low blood pressure Roger. Broadlight Broker, an alternative. We got Honey Buns from Motor City checking in. Appreciate you for blessing us with your presence tonight from the D. We got Lightning D. We got David checking in. Tim, Shane over on Facebook, Digital Empress. What else we got here? Tim. Okay, fair amount of people here, man. Appreciate everybody for taking time to join us tonight. Okay, so I want to it says your social security number. Your social security number was that one? Social security number something. I missed that one. Throw it back out there. I'll get to it. Nature knows. Sorry about that. Nature knows. Appreciate that love offering. Thank you for being a blessing to the channel. Okay, let's get into it, man. So, where do you guys want to start? We can start on what's happening in the Middle East, or we can start right here in the South. You guys pick which one you want to cover first. And I'm definitely curious to hear, other than just seeing some mainline headlines for our brothers and sisters down south. You guys were impacted by that weather probably a lot more severely than we were up here, other than just getting occasional, some mild wind or something like that after the fact. So I'm curious to hear what's happening down there. I got a couple articles I'll throw on the screen here and just talk about some of the events that we're being told about. But here's one of the stories here. It says, Ida is making Labor Day gasoline most expensive since 2014. And so given the weather issues, the flooding issues, power outage issues, and as well as all the other things that I'm not aware of, they're already telling us that come next weekend, we're going to have some issues coming. But as if we didn't already have higher gas prices already. So, okay, yeah, that's not really major news given the fact the prices are already relatively high. I'm assuming a lot of places you guys live in as well. But here's another article here. Hurricane Ida forces 3 damaged hospitals to evacuate patients. Never good news. So I wonder, of course, we won't find this out because the primary focus is on the weather conditions disrupting things there. But we'll see if they throw in a little extra fear talking about the cases and, all that other stuff. But here's some video footage from events happening down there. More than 1 million people without power. Now, here's the $1 billion question. How fast will the government, i.e. FEMA or whatever other entities is going to be responding to this, how fast will they have power back up and running? And so having 1 million people without, I saw something about cable lines are down and all types of craziness down there. We'll see how that plays out. But it says, Entergy says 2,000 miles of high voltage lines knocked out by the hurricane. And so once again, that's not a quick fix there. That's not a quick fix at all. Now, I can go far left field, but yet I remember saying several weeks ago that anticipate when it comes to hurricane season around this, August, September time frame, we should expect a lot or some severe category style hurricanes. And I think this definitely will fall in that ballpark. It did a lot of damage. But yet, once again, I haven't looked at the weather map, but it's probably good to say they got 1 or 2 more that's in the ocean being formed right now because with the intensity and the fact that these things are I believe they're intentionally steered in the direction they want them to go. They meaning those that are orchestrating this entire experience, those that say the trust in the science, those individuals there's going to be more coming is what I'm getting at. So curious to hear from people on the ground what you guys are seeing down there, but let's keep moving. And then I'm also curious to get your thoughts. Chris got a question here. It says, it's not a question, did they win? It's a question of what will be the nature of the next attack. You have to take into account that a win for them is suicide. Chris, great point there. And so let's jump on that right there. So hey, I got a couple articles about that. But given how everything is developed, and the U.S. forces were supposed to have left months ago because this was a part of the plan, give or take. The drawdown was, originally orchestrated last year sometime. And so it's supposed to be a slow process all the way to the end. But there's no coincidence whatsoever that everything happened to have ramped up within the last several months at the same time that there's been other events unfolding around the world. And every single news story we've heard in the last 2-3 weeks now has been focused on either cases or Afghanistan. And then the response to Afghanistan is another sign of, is it incompetency or is it an outright deliberate act of, I want to say a deliberate act of just, well, I can't even think of a word right now. Somebody suggest a word you throw out there, but it just from the way things have transpired over the last several weeks, it's a very bad showing on our military force, our alleged leadership in this whole situation, because nothing seemed to be well thought out or organized. And then the fact, here's some articles right here. They caught my attention because it got me really thinking. Let me see if we can grab this article here. But the fact that we are allegedly out of, where's this article go? Here we go. So here's just a little visual aid here, and it's being shown as if this is some type of heroic photo capture. But the last American soldier to leave Afghanistan was Major General Chris Donahue. And so here's a picture of the last American soldier on the ground there, allegedly. But we get another article saying that State Secretary Blinken says under 200 Americans remain in Afghanistan who want to leave. So American soldiers are gone, but we still have 200 Americans there that want to leave. How is that like something that's, something we can say we actually won the victory like this? So it's a complete crap show, if I can say it that way, because it makes us look extremely bad, but I think it's on purpose. And as I start off beforehand, I believe it's a part of a greater setup to actually bring the fight to American soil, because we got migrants just being scattered throughout the country. Haven't heard much about it on the news here. I saw something here in the Detroit news saying that some Michigan representatives or something like that, put forth effort to, help rescue a couple hundred migrants or whatever. So I'm not sure if they're here in Michigan or what, but within the next couple of weeks, month, definitely within a year, I anticipate more activity. And of course, it's going to be attributed to some Afghanistan citizens or actual outright Taliban or ISIS-K, ISIS-P, ISIS, whatever, however they rebrand themselves. But that DuBois says, Mike, let me see here. What is this one? No, what is this? Wrong one. It says, just send in 776 American Airlines to take the 767 American Airline. Isn't that the plane? It's not the plane that went down somewhere. It says, yeah, Mike, and the Taliban has all their names and probably pictures too. No doubt. And so here's another little, here's a Pina Colada, says Pablo Pina. Here's another little video here that really makes this look extremely bad. So here on the screen here, I'll start this over. Here on the screen here is what looks like an American journalist, Nabi, from not saying that incorrectly. He is a staff foreign correspondent in the Middle East for the LA Times. And so he has a cell phone camera, and he's allegedly walking with the Taliban into the hangar at the airport there. And he's basically recording this, selfie style, walking with the Taliban supposedly. And he's just, reporting. Like, so when you have I guess in America, I'm not sure what he is, but you have an LA Times reporter on the ground next to the Taliban. It looks like a Hollywood script. It looks like a movie. This doesn't look real, because these guys here are just walking, and the U.S. just surrendered. Like, we just surrendered, it looks like. It makes us look extremely bad. But this is just my 2 cents there. But anyway, that's I thought I would share that, because just seeing that video there of a man walking with a cell phone camera, recording, talking about how the U.S. is left and Taliban taking over. It's like, okay, man, come on now. How much propaganda, how much theater? Exactly. Good, great, Jay, great word, theater. And then he says a green screen. Yeah, so that could low-key, that right there could be recorded from here on American soil with some paid actors dressed up as, military, people, be staged to call them Taliban. That's probably like happened on Hollywood, the Hollywood movie set or something like that. Anyway, let's keep moving. But I'm curious to get your take on this. So after 20 plus years of the U.S. involvement in Middle East, which of course we should have never been there. We were were led astray by even going into that country. We were lied to from day one. 20 years after the fact, under the prior administration, President Trump, he tottered on bringing American forces home, and apparently to this moment, all the American troops are no longer in Afghanistan. But yet, what's the greater takeaway from this? Because by us leaving in such hurry, it makes us look weak. It makes the U.S. look like we forfeited, we gave up, we gave in, and we ran. And it makes it look like those that are part of the Taliban, those who are labeled as extremists, that they were able to endure and withstand 20 years of American aggression, but then they overcame, and they are now victorious. And according to what we're being told, the Taliban will form a new government. They're getting all this respect from, not necessarily respect, but they're getting the attention from the mainstream media. And of course, as it was just mentioned, this is all theater, but all the lives that were lost. So how does this paint America to the rest of the world? I'm curious to hear what you guys think, man. Let me know. So let me start open up the phone lines. I got a couple more articles here, but I can go on and on, but I'm not. Let's open up the phone lines, man, and let me know what you guys think. How does this paint the American military, especially given the fact that we've lost so many people? And of course, over this past weekend, Biden was, at the airport hangar, and he had a little glance at what looks like his watch, and he's just so not there right now. And then, of course, over the weekend, the whole impeach Trump was trending. Impeach Biden was trending. And then, of course, people throw up the whole Kamala Harris. This is a part of the setup to make him really look bad, make it look like he's losing his mind so that he can step down and Harris will step up. What do you guys think? Let me know. Or just throw out in the chat. And then, of course, any other subjects you guys want to touch on, feel free to let me know. I am curious to hear what you guys think. Let me see. Bright Broker says maybe that media guy can try turning them, getting them to buy a cell phone or new car or find something wrong with them for medicine or date outside their race or go on a diet or eat some West food. Okay. That was a long one there, my friend. Tim says Biden's first thought is what flavor ice cream is he going? Dude Boy says Taliban has a Twitter account and Twitter kicked off Alex kicked off the former president of that. Like how? And that's where that's the biasness / corruption of the big tech, because you have Trump who just speaks off the cuff, talking against the deep state, talking against his own politician group, but then you have people over in another country causing outright terrorism. They destroying stuff, supposedly, killing lots of people and persecuting Christians and stuff like that. But yet that's fine. And they're allowed to trend. Like they're trending. Some of the people are actually trending on Twitter. Ed says no volume. So let me know. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Oh my God, I'd be very upset if I had no volume. But everything should be good on my side. Let me know how it sounds. It's you, Ed. Okay. Operation Mockingbird. Body looks like it's fresh. All right, so let's take some calls. Let me get this going. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, Mike.
Yes, how you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from? What's that again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to comment because today I had kind of an epiphany, Mike, here in La Jolla, California, where it's all peaceful.
Yeah. Give it to me.
I think that what happened in a military sense wasn't the failure of the president or the military. It was a very underhanded maneuver in which we just armed a Taliban group, which is really not Afghani. These are made up of Islamists since the days when since the Afghani were armed by our shoulder-fired missiles against the Soviet helicopters.
Yeah.
And that's the movie I was talking about before. But I believe, in a short nutshell, and you can comment on this, if you consider that the U.S. Army just armed a group heavily. I mean, this is an army-sized military, Air Force, all the we see the Humvees, but the tanks, everything, the armaments, carrying U.S. weapons. We've now armed. Why? Because now Turkey and those militants are probably going to go at it.
Yeah, those weapons and all the vehicles and stuff like that left behind will definitely be utilized for a future or upcoming event. That those that are running all of this, as far as the globalists, the industrial military complex, all those people, they have something planned because war is very profitable. So I anticipate there being some type of conflict between nations coming. So that's definitely.
Well, Turkey is asking Russia to upgrade from S-300 to S-400. Russia has up to S-500 and S-600 for their own home defense, but they're also offensive weapons.
Yeah.
But they have already leased out S-300s throughout Syria, protecting them against Israeli bombings for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Syria, I don't know, somehow it was part of the war effort the whole time.
I think it's the whole goal of destabilizing. Yeah, but I appreciate you calling and sharing that, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, yeah, consider that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, be good. Yeah, so here's an article that I shared on the community page. It says, Russia to fast-track arms supply to Central Asia after Kabul airport strike. So assuming that Russia is anticipating that there's going to be some things happening to where a lot of other nations are deciding to want to expedite their military aid coming from Russia. So hearing about all the upgrades of the military defense systems and as well as all the other weaponry that is being dispersed through Russia. So here's another questions that people don't really talk much about. It's the fact that Russia's equipment, the world is rushing to Russia. As I mentioned in that video, they're rushing to Russia for safety and for protection, as well as all the partnerships and stuff like that. And of course, China. But yeah, all we hear about is how Russia's supplying a defensive system for all those nations there, especially in the Middle East now. And they wouldn't be supplying all that military equipment unless they were expecting something to occur, whether it be deliberate or as a response of a failing nation as they try to take their last swing and take down as many other nations as they can. And so that article there about how, Russia is fast tracking things. So does that mean like within the next couple of months, within the next year, we can expect some type of all out conflict in the Middle East? Because my personal opinion, it'll be either the Middle East by all that excess, military weaponry left for the Taliban. The Taliban, by the U.S. pulling out, as I mentioned, the U.S. gave the keys to China for China to have all the natural resources and to basically continue to do their one belt, one road with no interference. Because the U.S., apart from having maybe a base here and there and some other Middle East countries, they're no longer in the way of actually completing the Belt and Road Initiative. Okay, but then again, now we need more fear. We need more of an escalation of an event. So we're gonna equip them, meaning the Taliban, so that they can now not do our work, but do the US's as well as all those entities that control the Taliban do all their dirty work by sending rockets over to Israel now, sending some to Syria, sending some to Turkey. So the Taliban has more enough equipment now to probably hold a nice little lengthy war themselves. And the question will be, will the U.S. feel obligated to now get back involved, or will they allow the Taliban to complete their initial mission of taking out those 7 Middle Eastern countries that was a part of the plan that the U.S. had all along? So just something worth thinking about, man. But anyway, phone lines are open. Give me a call. Let's talk. Curious to hear your thoughts on this. So does the U.S. pulling out in this fashion where we left some people behind? It looks like, as I mentioned, approximately 200 or so Americans are, supposedly left behind. And I'm assuming that they'll be able to be rescued. But then again, I saw an article the weekend saying that the Biden administration or the Department of Homeland Defense or something like that, Department of Justice, said that they didn't want any private entities going in for rescue missions. So they said no to any private, groups or whatever trying to form their own little militias or whatever, fly over there and play, rescue Americans. They said no, and they set out some type of notice to all bordering countries to not allow any type of private rescue mission jets to land in those countries to gas up, fuel up, or anything like that. So it's like, okay, why wouldn't you use that extra help if it was available to you? Why wouldn't you allow some other people on their own dime to fly in there and rescue their family members and loved ones? And of course, they know they're going into a war zone, so they find at their own risk. But why? Why not? Unless you want all of this chaos, you want the mainstream media to be glued into the fact we have Americans there. We gotta, do all this type of crap. So anyway, but let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. So Barack Obama showed the whole world a black man can run this country no matter how many times they try to bring him down. Yeah, and that's where I never really thought that Barack Obama was an actual difference maker. I thought he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was brought in to be the front for a different style of administration, i.e. the first melanated person. But yeah, most of the things he really did play right and hook and sync with what he would have had to do. He inherited a financial chaos. So what did he do? Let the central bank just quantitative easing until whatever, 0% interest rates and just did debt to the wazoo. He basically TPP and everything that he basically turned over the U.S. to all those foreign entities and stuff that I can't even think of right now. I've been talking about for so long. But anyway, I think he did his job, and he was designed just to come in and to stir up, the African-American community, make them feel like we had our own in the White House. But it's good to say now, looking back, a lot of people who just do a summary of all the accomplishments he did in the whole racial divide, he didn't really do too much. We're more divided now than ever. And I don't think, he was in office other than people actually being proud of and owning the position of presidency. I heard more people say they call the president my president. I'm thinking like, your president? Like, what has he really done for you lately? But anyway, DuBois says QE1, QE2, Operation Twist. Yeah, you name it. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. So once again, I think we all know that he did exactly what he was supposed to do. I mean, here we are today, almost $30 trillion in debt. He didn't do anything disruptive, put like that. He followed his script. And of course, I don't blame any president because they're all puppets. Like, they're put there. They're not selected. They're not elected. They're selected because all the candidates happen to rise to the top based upon the lobbyists, special interests, and all the funding from the private sector. And so that's just how it always works. But anyway, let's talk, man. Phone lines are open. Give me a call. Curious to hear what else you guys think. I'm feeling that one. Communist Hunter says, we are citizens of the kingdom of God. We're foreigners temporarily residing on earth. No doubt. Let me see here. This says, Obama is like a kitchen gadget you buy from TV. It looks good until you try to use it. Sad. Yeah. And so I personally, I'm apolitical in a sense where I'm not left, I'm not right. I'm more so for we the people. I think that if we were given the choice to actually govern ourselves and we weren't deliberately being fed garbage that divides us, then I think we can do without a lot of the governmental structure that's been put in place. There's a government agency for every area of our lives, to the point where it'll make us think that we need these entities when actually all they do is ultimately just they tax us, and then they distribute it in welfare programs, which only cripples and disincentivizes people from actually wanting to go get their own. And so government ultimately has been the biggest hindrance, I think, to civilization, even though we need structure. But I think mankind, if we were able to actually do it from a biblical standpoint where we place others' needs and wants ahead of our own, then we would do all right, I think, without all these entities. Says low blood pressure says, got to put a beard on virtual mic now. LBP, you missing the virtual mic? I'll break them out for you tomorrow. But okay, let's get some more calls. Let me see. I had a call here. Let me see. Oh, I may have lost. Anyway, give me a call. Let's talk. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. How does this current withdrawal of U.S. troops 20 years after, How does it make America look? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. Finally got through. Stephen from Sydney, Australia.
Stephen, how you doing, my friend? Give me some news. What's going on in your neck of the woods, man?
Man, oh man, what the hell's going on? That's all I can say.
Yeah.
There's, it's a bit, I guess the best way of putting it is not all of Sydney is in lockdown, per se. There's certain suburbs that have been, they've been classed as red zones. Now, these people are feeling the real brunt.
Yeah.
Where I am, I'm in the city fringe. And that's kind of a little bit freer to move around. I think we've got 2 hours in the exercise yard instead of 1.
So stop. You say you got 2 hours, and so like, how's the reinforcement? Like, you know, helicopters flying by, checking on you. Like, I mean, do people actually stick to the 2 hours, or you got some people that say, I'm gonna do me, I'm not gonna concern myself with that?
Yeah, I'm not in those actual areas. They've labelled them red zones.
Okay. Now,
they've just introduced another mandate that says if you don't have one jab, you cannot leave that area without the jab. So it's getting very tyrannical.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on today. There's a nationwide truck blockade, I believe, on all the borders coming in and out of the states.
Yeah.
There's a coordinated effort at Parliament buildings, I believe, as well, stand-ins. And I think the truckies and ex-Defence Force personnel are also trying to back them up, because we've just got nobody here to help us. Yeah.
Now, so overall, from what you see, family, friends closest to you in your circle, are I'm assuming a good majority of people like realizing the signs and the times, knowing that this is much greater than just this health threat, or are people actually like, okay, we need this from the government, we need, or what? What's the majority from what you're sensing?
Look, my family, they've bought into it hook, line, and sinker. I believe they've all taken a jab or both jabs. I'm lucky. I've got a very close friend and 2 other friends. We're very much awake and on the same wavelength as you guys are.
Yeah.
It's the fear. The media here is ruthless. Anybody that speaks out just gets shut down, ridiculed, embarrassed. It's total tyranny.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. Like, that's why I try to bring and shine light on events happening globally as much as I can, because people here in America just still don't think it can happen to them. And my thing is, how foolish can you be to not realize this? If it's happening all around you, you think you're going to be the only one that not experience something like that at some point in the future. And so much we can learn if we were able to get ahead of the curve by hitting the streets now, resisting and just sharing this information. More people realize that this is serious, man. Like, this isn't a one and done, it's going away anytime soon type of event, I think. So it's either now or never, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, I think it's more fear of the police than fear of a virus. I think people are starting to realize that, because their businesses are just getting destroyed. Small businesses do not exist anymore. They shut their doors months ago. It's just the supermarket chains, the bottle shops, and the gas stations that are open, really, and everything's online. You know, your Amazons and your Targets. That's where you're buying your stuff from.
Yeah, and it's delivered right to you. Oh man. Hey, man, well, I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts, man. Keep us up to date. Feel free to call at any time, man, and keep us up to date. We got to hear it, and hopefully if there's anything we can do or say or whatever on our end, man, let us know.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Can I just say just one quick thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a passage I heard the other day, so a King James version, Revelation 9:15.
Give it to me.
And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and the day and the month and the year, for to slay the third part of men. I've heard someone refer to the four angels as the four big pharma companies.
Okay. I have not heard that one before. Something to consider. Something to consider. Yeah, but I appreciate you for bringing that to our attention. Give us something to chew on, man. Appreciate you for bringing that to our attention.
Okay, no problem. Cheers.
Be good.
God bless.
Same to you, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's real news right there. That's real talk from somebody right in the country sharing his thoughts, man, and want to wish you the best, my friend. Stay prayed up and definitely let us know so we can help out any way we can. And that's another thing. Like, based upon hearing this information from somebody in Australia, here in the U.S., is there anything we can do? Because the world, for the most part, is looking at us. I've seen more than enough stories where people in Europe saying, hey, U.S. citizens, get your stuff together. You know, we're dependent on you, because we are the last resistance in this country. We are the last stand, and people don't even realize how serious this is. Man. Anyway, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving right along. Man. Just makes you think. Makes you think. Okay, give me a call. I missed several calls, and I apologize for that. I don't want to have to call anybody back, but give me a call. Get you on here. Yeah. So Pablo, this is real. I saw the article here. The Brazilian president told his people to get guns and prepare. I ain't never heard a president that bold. You know, Trump talking about, you know, keeping your guns. He never said go out and get them and prepare. That's real. Shoot. I clicked the wrong button. All right, give me a call. Let's get you on here. Let me actually find that article. That was something serious. Hello, Carlos. Where are we calling from?
Hey, this is Pat. How you doing, Mike?
Pat, I'm doing good, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing just great.
What's going on with you?
Listening to you talking about we're not from this earth. I'll give you an insight.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your feet.
Yeah.
The sandals go back thousands of years, as far back as man.
Yeah.
So look at your feet if you want to know where you're from. And this other stuff, how can they make mandatory the jab,
right,
if they're not checking anybody coming across the borders?
That's another good point. Yeah, they haven't mentioned that about that. Making sure they're and I saw something said that they're vetting them, but they were vetting them to find out, you know, their history, see if they, you know, are on a terrorist list and that type of vetting, but never about the health situation. So, yeah,
I don't think they're violating their health records like they're wanting to do me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see how they can say mandatory when they've got the gates open and they don't give a damn who walks through.
Very true. That is very true. Hey, man. Well, what else going on with you, my friend? How's the weather? How's the weather?
That's me, brother, and I'm going to let you go.
All right, appreciate your call.
Have fun now.
Yeah, be good. Yeah, good stuff. That's one angle. That's one thing we haven't heard is the any talk about making sure people are vetted and screened and not carrying nothing, and, you know, make sure they're healthy and all stuff like that. But the Liberty Lion says the king agreed to our Declaration of Independence, which says all men are created equal, which means the kings and the Pope have no power than anyone, no more power than anyone. Liberty Lion, good stuff, man. All right, let's get a couple more calls in here. Hello, Carlos. Where are you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland. How you doing, brother?
TB, doing good, man. It's Monday night. I'm happy to be here with you, man. What's going on with you?
Man, one more time. He even gave us 2 extra days and still brought us together one more time.
100%, man. What's going on?
Oh, Afghanistan is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
The world is a lie. I can't say it enough.
Right.
How are you going to send all those troops and get everybody and everything's hunky dory? You kick NATO out, and all of a sudden you got a government, and now this is all a bunch of mess, man.
Yeah.
And we're just doing the bidding for them. Is all we're doing, you know, by talking about it.
Yeah.
They can't validate the jab. Even if you get 2 jabs, you can get a card that says you got 2 jabs.
Yeah.
How are they going to validate unless they call the pharmacy or the doctor that you got it from?
Yeah.
There's no electronics in the card.
Yeah. Hey, but here's the thing. That's just the first phase, because the second and third comes with the QR code and the app and the phone and the verification, and you got that Luciferus, the jail where they can scan you, they can scan your skin and see if you got it in your system or not. So all that stuff is already there as well. It's just not available.
Mike, they ain't gonna make that. They ain't gonna make that.
You think it'll get that far?
Do that?
You make
I'm
what?
not gonna do that.
Make what?
They ain't gonna make that to that point in the jab process.
Oh, they already got it. I've seen a credible or not, whatever, but I've seen a couple videos where people who do the little red, what is it, the X-ray, whichever the blue light or whatever light that is under their skin, and you can see some things. Now, whether it's real or not, I don't know. But I do know
whether it's real or not. I'm talking about, are you going to get it?
Oh no, I don't plan on participating in no capacity.
So that is you and a 1/3 of America.
Yeah, and that's
and there's no way that you're going to be able to get that through to everybody.
Yeah,
and, it's just one of those things where we participate in our own little way, which we shouldn't do.
Right.
But in order to get the word out to say that this is BS, then we have to participate.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just change the rule. It's a yin and the yang. They give you something, they take it away. They give you something, they take it away.
Yeah.
And we just can't be falling for the okie doke.
Right. I agree, man. I agree 100%.
And that's what we're doing. One more thing, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can't be successful at stealing money unless you're able to launder it. Have a good one, brother.
Hey, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. And that's where I do believe, based upon all the information and the impact of alternative media and social media itself, because there's a lot of resistance, there's a lot of pushback, and the news does travel. It may not be mainstream being broadcast on your local, late night news type of channels, but more and more people are actually seeing these stories of people in the streets in Milan, Italy, and in France, and the UK, and you name the country in Europe predominantly, and of course Canada. People are on the streets, and those videos are being watched. Now, I do think it has put a hiccup in their plans, because those numbers they're giving us as far as the number of people who participated, I think they are far less than what they would like us to believe, like especially here in Michigan, because I heard numbers from the governor, then I heard numbers from the, what is the Department of Health or whatever, and those numbers that were not the same, as if they weren't on the same page with their lie. And so I think there is a great chance that they may not accomplish the total number of participants that they need and want. And then after this upcoming winter, I believe it's going to be extremely hard to get the people who've already chosen not to participate involved. And then that's when things might get a little physical. That's when I think they may have to change. They're going to change the narrative to something else entirely, because as we're witnessing, some countries are ahead of others. And Israel is leading the way right now, because I saw an article, I think I even shared on Twitter, about how you're not considered fully participated until you get your third shot. And so basically, if you got one or two, that's not enough in that region. So I don't think we're going to get to that point here where they're going to be talking about, if you don't have three, you won't be able to participate, because the overwhelming majority don't even have one. So, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get some more calls. Curious to hear what else you guys are talking about. And then, of course, TB, I saw in the Discord, the reverse repo is steadily climbing. And so my only question now at this point with the reverse repo situation is that, what exactly are they hoping to accomplish with using that? Because if they're literally withdrawing funds out, and I'm assuming that plays into the statement you made about funneling money, funneling the currency, that right there probably is the biggest funnel of funds right there, because it's all just ledger to ledger. Hello, caller. Where we calling from? Let me see. You got anybody here? Going once, going twice? All right. Let's go. Pew-pew time. Get one jab, then three, then seven. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, it's gonna be extremely hard to be convincing people to I think I saw something about Biden talk about possibly every 5 months. Right. No dummy in the world, in my opinion, would literally continue to shoot themselves up. Literally shoot themselves up every 5 months, and it not probably cause some major, issues well before that third, fourth jab. All right, his phone acting up. But anyway, give me a call. I'll get you on here. I apologize for that. Jay says no planes were used on 9/11. That'll be hard to pull off, because with the Twin Towers especially, we saw some things fly in them. Now, Of course, the amount of damage that was done clearly was not enough to bring down those buildings. And of course, we all know that there was a little bit of extra firepower behind that. Great English says, won't the reverse repos eventually bankrupt the banks? I think it would definitely remove, or it's intended to solve some of their over liquidity problems or excess liquidity problems, but yet it's also draining the entire banking system of funds, which I think it clearly is something they want to do so that it'll make it easier to roll out that CBDC stuff, I would assume, because they can avoid a possible hyperinflation type of environment by drawing that out and then issuing that new digital stuff, I believe. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
North Dakota. I was the one that talked to you about David Goldberg last time.
Yes, sir. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right, man. Hey, did you ever get a chance to check that video out?
Yeah, I started it that night, got sidetracked, so I didn't finish it. But it was on my mind the next day. I just didn't get back to it.
No worries. I just thought it would be some food for thought since you said you wanted to travel down the rabbit hole a little bit. I figured I'd guide you down there.
Yeah. Appreciate it. What's on your mind, man?
So, my big thing is, everyone's still all entertained with the food. I'm sorry, with the bread and circus of everything. And they're missing the whole point. What are they distracting us from? Is this a psyop? What do you think they're distracting us from?
Ooh, man, that is a quadrillion-dollar question. So I think the primary distraction is to create so much fear and tension so that they can use this health situation to execute their one world agenda down the line, while also reforming and transforming the monetary system. So I think it's a tiered structure of things they're trying to do at the same time, but they need fear at the top of all this in order for people to submit willingly. So I don't know, I can't pinpoint one thing, but I think it's a multi-layer. The Great Reset is ultimately all those things included in that, plus some.
Well, the grapevine is telling me that that they're pushing these masks in all these stores that are getting funding for the PPP money, and they're being threatened that their PPP money is going to be audited. And then on top of that, schools are getting threatened with the federal funding getting pulled if they don't comply as well. That's what I'm hearing. I saw speculation, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Oh, so here's the thing. The idea of nothing is free. Everything comes with, especially from the government. Like the government and they're never in position to give anything free because they don't really do nothing. And so when they say they're gonna give you something, and just like the whole moratorium situation and student loans, I mean, by extending all that stuff, that's going to hurt people more than it can ever help them because the bill comes due and you won't be able to make the bill. So they're going to take whatever you think is yours. So the PPP, first thing I thought was they're giving these funds just so people can stay employed, but they're still not working anyway. How can they would definitely come at a later date expecting another favor in return. So I'm not surprised whatsoever. And it was kind of obvious to see that, but a lot of people obviously better get this money, man. They're giving away free money. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
I feel like it's the stimulus is just the gateway maybe towards the UBI.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. The child tax credit situation is just getting the public used to some extra funds or their only funds. And as things get worse, it'll make people that much more dependent on funds. Because I believe probably by the beginning of the year, they're going to be doing stimulus again. Because after all this stuff ends this month, it's going to be a bad holiday season. Retail numbers going to tank, and they're going to need some more juice in the economy to get people out spending again. So they're going to be sending some more checks, I believe, probably January, give or take. Or no, probably before Christmas. Before Christmas, they're going to send a check probably November, watch. Anyway, go ahead.
Right. I'm going to say two things real quick because I know you like to get other people on. I'd like to hear them too, but this is just food for thought.
Yeah.
I listened to Mike Maloney. Mm-hmm. Mike Maloney, he anyways, I would watch his documentaries on Hidden Secrets of Money.
Yeah.
And that was explaining everything. Mm-hmm. And everything is just unfolding while he was talking. Anyways, and then another thing I wanted to bring to your attention is the government they're never going to let a good crisis go to waste. So back in 2008, they was all like, "Oh, we need all this bailout money," and they knew the American people weren't going to stand for it to happen again. So now they're going to use this crisis to just milk the system for all it's worth.
Yeah.
And then our grandkids are going to be paying for this. And I hear that with the breakup and all this the supply chain and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be bare shelves, and if you ain't got the funds to pay for those, what they call tariffs, but the consumer has to pay for it. So there's another funny thing. I don't want to go off on this rant, but now I tried to get my PS4 fixed.
Yeah.
I can't find PS5, but now you can't find no motherboards for the PS4, and now PS4 prices have been jacked up.
Yeah.
So you can see it, the disruptions, how they're affecting supply and demand, and yada yada yada.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so
It's not sustainable, man. It's not sustainable. It's something got to give. Go ahead.
It's not going to be zombies walking the earth. It's going to be a horde of starving people.
That is very possible. Hey, man, appreciate you calling, my friend.
Have a good day, buddy.
Yep, you too. Yeah, good thoughts, man. It's like, so all that right there is not sustainable. And from the look of things and the way the mainstream narrative that they're giving us, everybody's feeding the inflation camp because prices of all our goods or whatever is going up. But then again, we got the Federal Reserve doing everything they're doing, trying to keep the system intact because it's imploding on itself. And it's like, man, they can't taper what of any kind. Hello, Carlos, where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Just pay me money back, Killeen, Texas.
Pay me money back. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Not too much. I've been thinking, like, people keep trying to figure out, like, how we gonna get up out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple things came to mind is options.
Mm-hmm.
And how I'm using options is the world, the higher ups give us so many options. Let's just say the word boycott.
Mm-hmm.
If we tried to get out of the system, we couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like say, let's use Apple for instance. If you stop buying Apple computers, you're still using an Apple cell phone.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's so many, when you got so many corporations that's tied together and you get out of one thing, kind of like an octopus.
Yeah.
The whole retail world, which is us, are fighting one arm with a whole bunch of suckers on it, but you forgot about the other 10 that's surrounding you that's really controlling everything.
Yeah. That's very true. It seems like a never-ending battle, man.
It's going to be a never-ending battle, which all leads back to biblical. Like a lot of people sleep on the Pope and the things that he be writing off in his encyclicals. Like we gotta start like just touching on it a little bit, because I always said the things that'll bite you are in the dark. And when you got somebody like the Pope that got so much world power biblically, like, you know, when you look biblically, he got so much power. Like the Vatican is enough to be his own country. He got his own army. He got a lot of own everything, but he's so quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't. And that's the thing. We don't hear. I don't hear much other than what's reported from what he says when he says something like, you know, bold and outrageous. Like we need to all get along. All religions are the same, and we can all. I'm like, huh? Okay, no, buddy, what's going on here? But yet, you know, the Catholicism in of itself, man. To me, it's definitely. It was never a true representation of Christ himself. At this point, it's literally it's a business. It's a business for the wrong team, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna leave my Catholic brothers and sisters alone.
I agree with you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you calling, man. Good to hear your voice.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. I apologize. I missed a lot of calls, man. I got to figure out a way to, you know, get more calls in, rant less. You know how we do it. But I'm gonna get better. I promise. Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
What's going on, Mike? This is Dwayne from the Midwest.
Dwayne, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Just listen to the show. You got a good show going on tonight.
Appreciate it, man. What's going on with you? What's going on with you, man?
Yeah. Could you just going on, just chime in and pretty much with every thing everybody else is saying about what's going on. You from Michigan, right?
Yes, sir.
You heard I'm pretty sure you heard of YBI, right? YBI. Young Boys Incorporated.
Yeah. That's old school, yeah.
Right. You heard of the Earl Flynn and the Pony Downs.
Okay.
And, BMX, right?
Yeah.
BMX. So what would you think if a gangster in Detroit if a whole bunch of people, if he owed a whole bunch of people some money, and that he really doesn't respect them, and they keep asking for him, what would be on his mind?
Hold on. So say this one more time. He owed a whole bunch of people. Say that one more time. I gotta get this.
Let's say a gangster from Detroit,
Right.
whatever them criminal organizations,
Right.
criminalization, and somebody he owe a whole bunch of people some money. Now, he don't respect these people.
Yeah.
He look at them like chumps.
Yeah.
And he owe them money, and they keep nagging him. You know, they want their money. They keep coming out. What will you do to them people?
Oh man, so if he owe money and he's shaking people on their money, he gone. I mean, he ain't gonna be around too much longer.
But he can't get away from them, and he ain't got to worry about them. But so they nagging him. What do you think he gonna do?
Eventually pay him, I guess.
No, he's not. He's gonna get rid of him. He's a gangster.
Oh, I'm saying. So he won't be a long round. Meaning he won't, if he don't pay his bills. I mean, they'll cancel his contract for sure.
Exactly. So you were dealing. My whole point is we're dealing with a bunch of gangsters.
Yeah.
That's how you know they moves. Like a gangster. If the gangster owes somebody some money and he don't respect them, he gonna be like, man, we can just get rid of them.
Yeah.
I don't need them no more. And to me, I had to think. I had an epiphany. Like, you got to really to know what they're doing. You got to think of these people like gangsters. These are like really gangsters. Like, you have unfunded liabilities. You're just trying to say, you know what? I ain't gonna pay you. I'm just gonna get rid of you.
Yeah,
that's what a gangster would do.
Right.
I mean, so what I'm saying is I think we're dealing with a gangster mentality. Like, we're dealing with a gangster mentality. We're being philosophical. We're analyzing and we're approaching them from a philosophical position and trying to be cordial with these people. But at this point, these people are straight up gangsters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good analogy, man. Like, stone cold killers, man. They don't give a damn about nobody but their money, their power. Yeah.
No, because pretty much they saying, because pretty much they telling the world, and this is rolled out worldwide. So pretty much they telling everybody, you know what? Either you join here, or you got to get off the earth.
Yeah.
Either you take this, or you got to get off the earth. I mean, it is sad. I was talking to my wife, and we were saying, like, it's like, you know how you try to wake people up? It's to the point where it's like almost like they would not be able to take this information. I'm not talking about your crowd, but you know, your audience. The most people would not be able to take this information. We actually heard someone that said, "Why would they want to kill us?" And I just looked at them like, what? Like, why would they do that? That sounds crazy. Yeah. And I'm sitting there shaking my head. I'm like, oh, God, we got a long way to go, Mike. A long way to go. And we don't have much time on the clock. It's the fourth quarter, and we got 2 minutes on the clock. We got a 2-minute drill going on. They still trying to figure out the play, man. That's all I got, man. But
hey, man.
Yeah, man, we got to stay prayed up, bro.
For real, bro. I appreciate you, man. Good analogies tonight, man. Thanks. All right.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Yeah, he had me thinking there. All right, let me get one more call. Let me get this call. Let me see if I can find it. My phone is ringing, but I don't see it. Give me 1 second here. I got a call. Where'd it go? Come on now. All right, there we go. I got it. Let's try this. Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Midland, Texas.
Midland, Texas. What's going on, my friend? What's your name?
My name is AJ.
AJ, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, thanks. I appreciate the show.
Yes,
Long
sir.
time listener, but not really a call-in person. I still want to know what's going to happen with HIPAA laws, because if it's my privacy that everyone is trying to invade, who's going to be the first person to give one of these companies or the government a lawsuit based upon the HIPAA laws that are already on the books?
Yeah. Great point there.
I don't get that. I don't understand how you do not have to tell your employer the medications that you're on, but your employer all of a sudden is going to start requiring to know whether you're vaccinated or not.
Yeah.
What? How does this even work with HIPAA?
I don't know. I don't know. But watch this. I saw a video, and I wish I can find it. But I saw it was something that was challenging the whole HIPAA concept, and I'm not too familiar with it. But the ladies that were explaining it, they were saying that something within the last year or two or three was changed within the HIPAA law that would allow employers or something like that to go around that. And so they did some modification of that, all that, stuff right there. I don't know. I didn't verify it, but yet it was an institution or something like that. And they were saying that they tweaked some stuff, which gave them a little leeway, assuming that they knew 2 or 3 years later, we are going to have an event like this they would have needed that loophole. So I can't validate that, but just based upon a little bit of information I was hearing from them, lets me know that I'd assume they took this into account well before now and tweak some things, which probably puts it in their favor, meaning the globalists, the pharmaceuticals, the government. So I don't know, but we'll find out. So that's the first thing that came to my mind as yours is describing that, though.
Well, that's a really good thought there, sir, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
My overall idea about what's going on is they're just doing everything they can to sink this dollar. Once this dollar is gone, we've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
You've said it a couple of times throughout the years as well.
Yeah.
Once this dollar is gone, I believe that we're probably going to try to go to a one world currency. And I think that's what's going on right now. While the smoke screen is playing in our face, they're just trying to sink this dollar.
Yeah.
Anyway,
hey, man.
Good show, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you calling in, man. Good thought, good question. So that's one of the things. So if anybody know any details about the HIPAA law situation, please educate us because we can use that information. I definitely could myself. Appreciate you. Hello, Carlos. Where are you calling from? Hello?
Hey, Mike, it's Ed. How you doing?
Ed, I'm doing good, my friend. How you doing?
Yeah, I got a couple of reports from the ground. I got a guy at work at church who's an engineer. His work is paying $1,200 for him to get the jab, and his wife $400.
Whoa.
And these are intelligent people they're dealing with. And then my grandson works at this golf place, PGA, something. It's all expensive golf equipment. And they told him if he don't get the jab, he's going to have to wear a special colored shirt that identifies him as not being jabbed.
Really?
But the only thing that's working right now is religious exemption. They won't mess with that. They told him if he gets a religious exemption, he's okay. He's still got to wear the shirt.
Yeah.
And then I got a buddy whose daughter is in nursing school here at Ohio State, and they said religious exemption is the only thing that's going to save you. So I think we need to use that, especially if you're a true believer.
Yeah.
And you stand on the word of God, and you're not going to be ashamed of Jesus. Stand on that. For some reason, they're running from that right now. What do you think?
That's good news, but I'd imagine within, because here hospitals around here are doing the same thing. There's a religious exemption, and then there's another exemption, a prior medical histories, whatever. So I think those are two outlets as of now, but yet somehow, somewhere in the future, they're going to either change the rules of the game, or they probably want those people to still be around, because mind you, it's all about depopulation at the end. So I think if the numbers that they've thrown out there saying that there's going to be 100 million people left by 2025, based upon some stats they put out there, then that could be the people who have not participated clearly, but then also the medical exemption people and whoever else might be hiding in the mountains type of thing. So that will definitely put us around 100 million or so. So hopefully it lasts. Hopefully it does people some justice, man. But I can imagine at some point they're going to change the rules of the game in the future, probably. It won't last forever, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think people should stand on that now, especially people who've got to work, got to have that job, to provide. Let's stand on that we are Christians, and here's the legal exemption. You don't have to lie.
Yeah,
it's a sin to put something in your body if you know it's harmful. You're harming the temple of God. So that is a legitimate exemption.
Yeah. Well, hey, more power to people who use it. Definitely, and hopefully, and that's the thing, like, because they still have to validate it and prove it, and they might ask for more questions, and so it's not going to be like, okay, just submit a form or submit a letter or two, and you're good. I'm sure they're going to follow up with some more. They want more information, I'm sure, to verify it, as if like you need to verify your faith.
What they're doing?
Huh?
They're demanding a letter from the pastor.
Yeah.
So
I've seen a couple
trying to identify all of us.
yeah, and of course they're keeping record of all these people who submit. So everything is being tracked and traced and recorded, man. But hey, man, appreciate you calling, my friend.
Hey, one more thing on a lighter note. Maybe they're going to get rid of all of us anyway because we're going to go up in the rapture and watch this as a bad movie before.
Hey, that'd be that'd be a nice little ride to get up out of here right in time, man. But hey, I appreciate you calling, man. Yep, be good. All right. Give me 1 second. All right, so I see I'm missing calls. I see Faye says you call low blood pressure calling in. Believe me, I'm not answering. It's just when you guys calling, somebody else is on the phone. So the phone line is available right now. No one's calling, so be the next person to call. I get you on here. All righty. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. It's Al from New Orleans, man.
Al, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, could be better, brother.
Yeah, what's give me the lay of the land in your neck of the woods, man.
Let me tell you what, man. Mainstream media is not on what's going on here. Let's go out, shit gets weird.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up a little choppy. Hello?
Well, yeah, I'm here. Mike, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but you're choppy. Go ahead. I hear you. I got full signal, but go ahead.
I'm over at your cell network. I'm getting out. Mainstream media is bullshitting you, man. Just get down here. Really, really weird. Yeah.
Ooh, man, I can't. Unfortunately, I want to hear you. I want to hear what you're saying, but I can't. We can't hear you, man. So I'm gonna let.
Hear me. I'll send it in the message.
All right, send in a message, please, or shoot me an email. Hello, caller. Where you calling from? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, it's low blood pressure, Corpus Christi. How's it going, Mike?
LBP, doing good, man. What's up with you?
Hey, man, did you see that news article where the soldier was playing ukulele to the kids from Afghanistan?
I did not see that one. No.
Pull it up, man. It's so fake, Mike. Those kids, they're from Mexico and Guatemala. You can see it.
Hold on. So soldier playing ukulele. Soldier.
Yes.
All right. Go and keep talking. Playing ukulele.
For Afghani kids. Look at their faces. Those kids are Afghani.
Hold on. I didn't see that one.
You see them?
I'll give you 1 second. Video of American.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see here. Video of American playing. Nope, this is the wrong one. Give me 1 second. I gotta find it.
Okay. They're behind the cage. They look like caged animals.
Shoot. Let me see. It's not popping up. America ukulele for Afghan soldier playing ukulele for Afghanistan. Shoot. Nothing's popping up right now, but keep talking. I'll find it, man.
Man, look, Mike, those kids, man, they got straight black hair, a bent nose. Mm-hmm. They look Mayan, Mike. And I saw one of the little kids in the background. Uh-huh. He's got a bowl of nachos. That's a dead giveaway, Mike. They don't even know nachos in damn Afghanistan. They don't even know what the hell corn is over there.
So literally everything is basically being played out to be a staged event. Just like I played this video earlier about one of the reporters who's walking along with the Taliban as they're walking into the airport hangar, talking about the U.S. is gone. So just this video alone, like, okay, how's this guy hanging out with the Taliban, shooting a selfie? You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
It's so fake. Mike, in Islam, they're not going to let their children go out of their sight. Mike, they'll chop heads off before they do that, let alone let the Americans take the kids by the dozen.
Yeah.
I understand maybe one or two kids that they got displaced or something.
Yeah.
But it's like maybe 25 kids. There ain't no way, Mike.
Hey, yeah, more signs of just a fake everything. It's the stage event, man, and that's where I put a question earlier. By the U.S. removing everybody, supposedly, does it make us look weak, or is it long overdue, in your opinion? That we finally that we're supposedly out of there.
I don't know, Mike. I go back to the whole Wakanda theory that I was telling you before.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe, Mike. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the Americans were even doing there from the beginning.
Yeah.
They're always there for something.
Yeah.
There's something there, Mike, that everybody's fighting over.
Yeah.
Is it under the ground? Who knows, Mike?
Yeah.
But there's got to be something there, because if you're thinking, well, it's strategic to go into Russia, America could just throw a bomb directly into Russia right now, from space.
Yeah.
There's something in that ground everybody's after.
Yeah. Good point. And of course, usually 5-10 years after the fact, we find out what it really was. So hopefully we find out well before then, because I'm sure some people out there, so there's definitely some whistleblowers out there that know. Hopefully they call in one day and let us know. But hey, man, appreciate you calling in, my friend. I'll try to find a video too, but I typed it in and ain't nothing popped up.
It's hilarious, Mike. They probably scrubbed it because, everybody caught on to it right away.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, Mike.
Be good.
All right, have a good night.
You too. Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, people. We're at the hour 10 point, man. Sorry. So I did miss more calls than I wanted to, but forgive me. I'll work it out. And so it's one of them things where when you're calling in and somebody's on the phone, I can't, just exit out real quick. But anyway, we'll work it out. But with that being the case, man, so I wanted to hear that New Orleans call. Jessica says lithium. Definitely. That is something that's very plentiful. And we went through the whole little list of all the natural resources they have there. And Afghanistan, outside of it already been leased out to China, because I always saw that article that China decided to move back in and start opening up the mines there. So they're doing their thing again. And we all knew that. Caller was saying in chat, it's like a war zone down. Really? So the caller that was calling in, I couldn't hear him because it was choppy, but apparently it's a war zone. So that is unfortunate. And if you got 1 million people or so without power, and that right then over there in of itself is a setup for just complete pandemonium, because you don't have any infrastructure there or security, and people are scrambling to restore and try to save everything. That's bad, man. I wish I could find out more, but if you still on, the caller that try to get in touch, man, send me an email and then we'll connect, because I'm curious to find out more, because that's something that we won't definitely be able to find out from mainstream news. Well, let's take this last call here, and then we'll dial back. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Faith.
Hello, Faith.
Parent.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, hon?
I'm doing good. Faith, do me one favor. Can you mute your computer, because I hear the mic, the back feed.
The mic on the screen.
Okay. You good?
Okay,
how you doing, Faith?
I'm on my iPhone. Hold on. Just a second.
No problem.
Let me stop. There we go.
All right, there you go. What's on your mind? How you doing?
Oh, sweetheart.
I'm doing well. Good to hear your voice. I saw you said something about the HIPAA stuff, right?
Yeah, the HIPAA. They can't do it because I told my doctor, see, I have kidney disease, okay? Mm-hmm. Permanent and irreversible kidney disease. Mm-hmm. I have 50 points. I was on life support for 7 days. And I was 49. I went into the hospital on life support for 7 days.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
And yeah, I know. I hovered just above 42%. Okay.
Yeah.
And on the 7th day, I woke up and I looked at around, and I was like, where the hell am I?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And my kidney doctor comes over and goes, hi, you. I said, what happened? Sister-in-law says, you have kidney disease. You had a kidney failure.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, she said, you had a kidney failure. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctor comes in and says, how are you? And I said, I'm fine. I said, you know, because he wanted to put, you know, all the time, high blood pressure, did I have high blood pressure?
Mm-hmm.
Did I have diabetes? Did I have, you know, a list of, you know, things, right?
Yeah.
That would, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Sounds like a nice little long journey, but you're still here. So, you know, more power to you. Appreciate you for, you know, blessing us with your presence tonight.
Yeah. Praise God. You know, I mean, hell, I almost died, and I came out. I died over my birthday the same year Michael Jackson died.
Mm-hmm.
He you know, because he, you know, I knew Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Now watch this, real quick. Somebody, Riley T asked me. He says, ask her about NDE.
NDE.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about NDE, but I know about the HIPAA Act.
Mm-hmm.
And why they won't give it to you, because my doctor goes, I had to see him once a month, every month.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I said, he said, why don't you take the flu shot? And I said, you know how much I hate big pharma. Right?
Yeah.
And he goes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I said, it's not, for one thing, it's an experimental vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, it is not flu season.
Yeah.
Thirdly, I'll be damned if I'm going to take that. No, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I said, I'll be damned if I'm going to take anything else that comes from big pharma.
Yeah.
If I have not had enough goddamn blood tests and enough damned...
Yeah. Well, hey, Faith, I appreciate you calling and sharing your experience, and God bless you. It's good to see you're still kicking it. You're still above ground. So that's definitely something to praise God for, man. So I appreciate you calling in.
Damn, you sound just like your dad. How old are you anyway, sweetheart?
I'm still ready. I'm in my early 40s.
Oh, you're early 40s.
Yeah.
How the hell old is your dad?
He's in his mid 60s.
He's in his same. I'm 62.
Okay, he's older than you then.
How? What?
I think he's about 65-ish. I think last time I checked. Yeah. But
well,
hey,
I always say I'm 106. I always say I'm 126. 126 because you had 100. You had 62 and 62 together. What do you get? 124.
Well, hey, Faith, I'm about to get it down back, but I appreciate you calling in. It's good to hear your voice. Good to finally talk to you.
Don't let him dial back. Don't.
Oh no, we passed the 118, so it's I'm about to close out with a prayer, and then we'll pick up again tomorrow.
No, tell him to come back on.
Who's that?
Me. Are you Dad?
Oh no, we'll have you on tomorrow.
Wait, hold on. We're not communicating. I can't hear a damn thing in here. I gotta shut the bathroom door and sit down on the toilet so I can go to the bathroom. It takes 10 minutes before.
Well, hey, you have a good night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
No, wait.
All right, man. So I appreciate the love, everybody. So let's get ready to dial back. As always, it's always good to be able to hang out and hear from the community directly. So tomorrow brings another day, probably more issues, but of course it's time to end on some good news that I saw some back and forth there looks like we have somebody in the community that's not a believer, which is fine. And so from what I was seeing, the talk about not, if you can't see it, you got to be able to see it and believe it, then that goes completely against faith. And so that's the easy part, but yet the complicated part, because faith is just something you either have or you don't. So, there's no science. There's no see it first, then follow up but with belief. It's either you do or you don't. And that's the simple part about it. And it shouldn't be too complicated. But yet it is something that can be, everybody receives it differently, put it like that. But anyway, for those who are still plugged in, man, as I always say, the best news is the good news, and it comes from a higher power beyond yourself. Because every problem we're experiencing right now is due to the fallen nature of mankind. Sin, greed, lust, all those characteristics that, ails mankind. And of course, when it's being done at the highest form or the highest level, the governing structures, the principalities and powers that oversee this current world, which is under the influence of a very evil and very dark and demonic forces, that mankind needs a savior. And thank God that there has been one that's come, and it's coming again. And faith is just simply believing in what has already occurred and what is yet to come. And it starts with being able to identify a person, and his name is Jesus Christ. And so that's it's a divider, because not everybody can accept it that easily. Some people need some convincing, and some people, unfortunately, may not be able to receive it due to whatever their circumstances might be, the hardening of their hearts, or they've yet to have an encounter with him. But everybody has a choice, thank God. But for those that are plugged in here, man, I try to keep it sweet and simple, man. We are having a spiritual experience right now, but those that are in Christ will win in the end. It's just that simple on my part. But anyway, that being the case, let's get ready to dial back, man. I appreciate everybody for, so you said you can't see an atom. And here's another thing you can't see, and I love using this analogy. You can't see Wi-Fi. You can't see electromagnetic frequencies with your naked eye. You need a device to be able to pick up those signals. And the same way in the spirit realm, having the Holy Spirit is the closest form of a device that we'll have to be able to connect with something outside of our natural senses. And so I just love using that example. Anyway, so with that being the case, people, let's get a draw back, man. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. And as always, we'll hopefully be back at it tomorrow, another day, another time. And of course, be of good cheer, man. Despite the obvious, we're still on the winning side, I believe. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather this night. We ask that you would draw those that have a desire to know you, Father, closer to you, Father. We ask you just continue to do great things in your church right now, Father. We ask for a revival in the church, that more men and women are charged in their spirits and encouraged to stand up and proclaim the goodness that comes from your word and how you've done great things in their life, Father. Everybody has a testimony to share. And we pray, Father, that you just, give people confidence and boldness to really stand strong on the word, as well as being proud of being called a believer in you, Father. We thank you for your governing influence over our lives. Lord, we ask you to be with those that are experiencing illness in their bodies and their minds due to the experiences that we're all a part of. We ask you to give them courage and boldness and strength in their inner man, Father, to allow them to overcome in the name of Jesus. And we lift it up. We lift you up, Father. Say thank you. Amen. All right, people. That is all she wrote for tonight. As always, it's good to connect. Appreciate everybody for taking time to hang out with me. And tomorrow, same time, same place, we about that. And then also, on another note, I put a very interesting and very detailed video on some of the ingredients in these current jabs in the Discord page, as well as in the Telegram page. So the links beneath this video here. Go check it out. 5-6 minutes, very detailed as to what's inside of them. More information is coming out as more doctors dive deeper under the microscope and really pull out some of the ingredients. And it's like, once you see what's in those things, you definitely wouldn't really want to put that stuff in your body, in my opinion. But that's just me. But anyway, that being the case, be blessed, be safe, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Have a good night. Visit Rethinking the Dollar throughout the day. Your place for news on metals, gold, crypto, you name it. Scroll down to the bottom and you get a chance to see the daily videos, the recommended videos, and more importantly, the 5 reasons to unplug from the monetary matrix, with the first one being the awakening period. Step number 1, test your dollar IQ. 10 simple questions, average is 60%, followed up with the alternative perspective with the monetary reports. Consider becoming a supporter of the Rethinking the Dollar platform via Patreon. Get a chance to hang out off air as well as additional information that can't be discussed on YouTube. Any support is helpful. With the crackdown on alternative media, the best thing to do is to connect off air. Scroll down to the very bottom. You can find Rethinking the Dollar on Telegram, audio, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, you name it. The most important ones will be the email list where you can get notified weekly, the Discord page, and make sure you connect on Telegram. And last, don't forget to visit the RTD store where you can get merchandise as well as additional information and resources. And most importantly, scroll down to the bottom and get your weight up with all the limited edition rounds only available on the RTD store.